minute ago and got to the tail end of the field. I just spoke to his team. They don't know if they got the number 30 fixed. Obviously misfiring in qualifying. I said, what did you change? And they said, what didn't we change would be the better question. So Noah Gregson trying to figure out whether that car is fixed. We'll have to see when the green flag drops.
So that'll be 2 times in a row that Noah has had to learn on the fly, if you will, to see if he's got a piece worthy of doing battle. It also should be noted at this time, I do not see the number 5 of Casey Johnson on the racetrack. We'll try to validate that as well. And as Kevin mentioned, Hopkins, due to the crash, he too not going to be able to line up for this race.
Well, this is going to be quick. Not a lot of cars on the racetrack, so you're going to have to go right off the bat. Kyle Busch right there on the bottom line. We expect that bottom line to be the lane that goes on this restart here. So
typically you see a 50-lap last chance qualifier here for the Derby and the Flake. Obviously with the tight schedule tonight, they've lowered this one to 25 laps. We'll see 2 20-lap last chances for the Flake, and 25 laps is a very, very short race.
Bit of duality as far as what's unfolded since these cars came off the racetrack for qualifying. We saw the track crew working a little bit more diligently on the top side of turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Obviously the racing line was brushed up perfectly for the qualifying session, but the track crew wanted to make sure that they were able to clean up the top lane. As they come to the 1 to go signal, we'll go back to Bob.
Well, you guys were talking about Casey Johnson. Here sits the number 5 machine in the pit area. It was a team decision for Casey Johnson. Just did not qualify well. Went out after that oil went down on the racetrack. They're frustrated. They said they didn't want to hurt this race car.
Thanks, Bob. So Kyle Busch, Derek Griffith, Corey Hall, Stephen Nasse. If the race was to end right now, that would fill out your 36-car starting field for the 58th annual Snowball Derby. Austin Nason, Jake Garcia, along with Connor Jones, Seth Christensen, Eric Jones, Noah Gregson. Outside looking in as we come to the green flag. 25 laps to round out the Snowball Derby field in 2025. How about Nasse? Not many have been up where that car is leading the parade on the top side, trying to get third away from Corey Hall as Busch leads lap 1. Hall with a big slide for Nasse to get a spot of insurance in 1.
It shows that 51's pretty strong right there, Kevin, to be able to hold off the 83. Kind of pinched him down just enough to keep his momentum down.
yeah, and when you race this racetrack a lot, you know that if you can just keep that bottom car pinned just a little bit off the exit of the corner, you need, in these super late models, you need that whole exit to be able to get that run up off the corner. So we know Nasse is always really good in race runs here. Always talks about his qualifying deficits that he has to overcome, but seems when this car gets into race trim, it's always right.
Nasse may not be done yet. He's starting to reel in Derek Griffith, who holds second, with Hall now falling back in the clutches of Jake Garcia. He needs that 1 spot there to lock himself into the field. 1 spot behind him, Austin Nason. As it's been well documented, this is meant to be his farewell race. He does not want his on-track career to end in a last chance race. He wants to be in the Derby. He needs 2 spots.
You look around you when you're on this racetrack, seeing the talent, and there you see on the right side of the screen, Noah Gregson and the team still not able to find what is wrong in the power plant of his number 30 entry. A very frustrating couple of days for Noah Gregson.
Yeah, you see a lot of the sparks out of the back of Jake Garcia's car there in the 35, and I think as we get these 3 or 4 laps further into this run right here, that's going to be when we're going to see this car start to move forward, I would predict.
Yeah, I think you could see even the way he rotated the middle of 3 and 4 there. His car looks really good through the middle of the turn, and that's where the 83 is struggling a little bit, and he might go after him here shortly for that final transfer spot.
And here he comes with a big lunge into the corner, was that of Garcia. Again, bottoming out. That cost him some time. That's going to pull Austin Nason up to the back bumper. Behind this battle, Eric Jones has just picked up a spot. He got around Connor Jones a few laps ago. Just got past Seth Christensen. May need a little bit of help, but that 4 car, who was one of the first ones out after the Hopkins crash, is working its way up through the field.
Eric Jones right now running in 7th. Christensen back behind him in the 8th spot. Said he thought he had a pretty good race car, but he has no time to wait. We're already 8 laps into the event. Just 16 to go now at the line this time for Kyle Busch.
And let's talk a little bit more about the driver holding down that final transfer spot right now in Corey Hall. Spoke to him leading up to the race. They actually brought the car down the week before they had the prelude to the Derby here because they wanted to get the Hall out of the way. He did so with his father and his tire guy. This is a true Cinderella story for a driver who won a super late model race at the World Series of Asphalt and said it was by far the biggest win of my stateside career as he tries to venture more into auto racing contests south of his native homeland in Canada. He is holding on to that fourth spot with 14 to go while Kyle Busch still sets pace.
Busch has built up nearly a second lead at the front of the field in that battle on the right side for the final transfer spot. Still a little bit early in this race. Garcia's not going to wait long to pounce on the 83.
And you see everything that he's given it right there. The back stepping out off of turn 4. But the thing that I like about that 35 car right now is it's just a half a lane lower than the 83.
And they are starting to ratchet up this battle for fourth. It's about to include a couple of more cars. There's Austin Nason and Eric Jones starting to enter the frame with Seth Christensen not that far behind. Connor Jones has unfortunately fallen a good bit back off this battle. That's not only the best on track right now, but the most important on track right now.
Got the veterans running up in the first 3 spots. They've made plenty of appearances here at the Derby. Plenty of appearances at Five Flags Speedway with Busch, Griffith, and Nasse up front. There's Nasse for the number 2 spot to the inside of Griffith. And much like we're used to seeing Nasse, the longer the race goes, the better he is. Even though this is a short race, he kind of faded back a little bit from Griffith. But in the last few laps is catching him, and now Griffith could be in trouble.
Nasse got himself another car's worth of insurance. And as you said, Adam, Griffith is actually falling back into the clutches of this fight that won't go away. And Kevin, one of the things I love about these cars, you can visually see the differences as there's contact behind that fight for fourth. Eric Jones and Nason traded some paint, but you can see some of these drivers visibly throwing the car in the corner harder, getting on the gas harder off the corner. All these drivers working so hard to try to get to that top 4.
Yeah, and you saw Eric Jones be super aggressive right there. He knows he's got to go. He can see that group in front of him. They've caught Derek Griffith, and that car is starting to fall back. Hall right there knows that he's going to get a lot of pressure from Garcia, but right now Eric Jones is hoping that they start battling pretty quick so that he can get up in the middle of this group.
Griffith may actually accordion this fight all back together. Third on back with the only front 2 cars holding down the spots to guarantee themselves into tomorrow's starting grid. Garcia turning up the pressure off 2.
Yeah, and I promise you, in this race, the front bumper is in full play.
It is. At the same time, he doesn't want to spin the 83, or he might be going to the back with them, so he's got to be patient until it's time to go. May that be on the last lap. I don't think he can wait that long. I think Jones will go after him before them. We're down to 5 to go this next time at the line.
Derek Griffith, who had to sit out last year's Derby after some health issues, which he talked about at the party last Tuesday, hoping to return to the Derby in fashion if he can hold a spot there. Corey Hall, Jake Garcia, Eric Jones, Seth Christensen, with it all on the line there. Third, fourth, right there, top 2 cars. Garcia trying to bust his way through. 4 to go.
Yeah, and you can see how hard Jake Garcia is driving that car. That right front brake rotor is in a full glow right now in 21 laps.
Kyle Busch, Steven Nasse clear of the field. Here's a good run off the corner for Garcia. Looking to the inside. Hall shuts the door.
Griffith is really sideways on the exit of 4 that time. We're running right now in 3rd.
To 5th.
Yeah, Garcia's going to run away from him. In fact, will catch the 12. He will most likely not try to push the issue because he's in the transfer spot. This has also allowed some space behind Garcia, the battle for Jones.
White flag in the air for Kyle Busch. He is clear of the field by over a second and a half. Nasse second. Hall losing a bunch of spots now, but Garcia's got breathing room in front and behind him, as it may be Garcia and Griffith who race their way in. Off of turn 4, Kyle Busch is going to win the last chance race. Nasse second, Griffith third, and Jake Garcia the last car in to the 58th annual Snowball Derby.
That was a field of veteran, talented drivers. We didn't have a yellow in 25 laps. We've seen some last chance qualifiers in the past get a little ugly because they were trying to get into the Derby or the Flake. But right there was drivers being patient and finding the openings when they needed and using their heads, as did Jake Garcia, to make that move late in the going for the 4th and final spot.
Eric Jones, former Derby champion, 2-time Derby champion, is going to be looking on. Seth Christensen is going to have to wait another year to see if he can make his first Snowball Derby. Austin Nason, Connor Jones, Corey Hall all came to the checkers on track, not making the field. And the same can be said for Noah Gregson following the motor problems. Casey Johnson, after the team elected not to start that car. And Mike Hopkins, who had the hard crash in qualifying, all missing the 2025 Snowball Derby.
Well, that all happened really quick. We went straight from an intense qualifying session to a B main right there, and it's done.
And now the focus shifts solely to the Alan Turner Snowflake 125. Kevin, difference from this year as opposed to last year, 25.